The Galactic Apex Academy was the pinnacle of interstellar education, a sprawling complex of gleaming towers and translucent domes perched on a lush, floating island above the gas giant Weevil. Here, brilliant minds from across the galaxy gathered to share knowledge and push the boundaries of science, strategy, and culture. From towering crystalline beings to sleek, multi-limbed explorers, the Academy was a vibrant mosaic of alien species, each proud of their own history and accomplishments. Among this crowd was Mira So, Earth's first exchange student. Unlike the other students, who towered with intimidating presence or shimmered with advanced biotech enhancements, Mira appeared almost ordinary, human, small, and unassuming. She wore a simple jumpsuit, her dark hair pulled back, eyes bright with quiet confidence. Her mission was clear: represent Earth and show why humanity deserved a place among the stars. The day of the presentation arrived. In the Grand Lecture Hall, a vast amphitheater with floating holographic screens and a softly glowing floor, Mira stood alone before an expectant audience. The chatter quieted as she began. Today, I want to introduce you to one of Earth's most fascinating creatures, a tiny spider. A ripple of laughter spread through the crowd. A bulky, armor-plated Trask student snorted. A spider? On a planet of insects and beasts, you bring us this. What's next, ants? Mira remained calm, her voice steady. This isn't just any spider. It's a species called Lactrodectus mactans, commonly known as the Black Widow. Though small, it plays a crucial role in Earth's ecosystems and holds secrets many overlook. She activated a holographic display. The image of the spider appeared in stunning detail, its glossy black body, the signature red hourglass marking on its abdomen, and delicate legs moving with precise grace. The Black Widow's silk is incredibly strong, stronger than steel by weight. Its venom, though tiny in quantity, affects the nervous system in ways we're still studying. The alien students exchanged amused glances. But it's just a spider, said a lithe, many-eyed being from the planet Synthar. How can that matter in a universe where ships tear through atmospheres and battles decide fate? Mira smiled, sensing their doubt. It matters because size and firepower aren't the only measures of strength. Sometimes, adaptability, intelligence, and subtlety win the day. The professor overseeing the session, an ancient creature whose translucent skin shimmered like liquid starlight, nodded approvingly. Indeed, let us remember that nature's ingenuity is the foundation of all advanced technology. As the session ended, many students still whispered and chuckled, but some stared thoughtfully at the hologram, curiosity flickering in their eyes. Mira packed up her data pads quietly, her mind already working on what would come next. The spider might be small, but its story was just beginning, one that would challenge the arrogance of even the mightiest warriors in the Academy. The echoes of laughter from the lecture hall still lingered in Mira's mind as she made her way through the bustling corridors of the Galactic Apex Academy. The halls were alive with the hum of countless conversations, alien dialects swirling together in a constant symphony of curiosity and competition. Everywhere she looked, students from the most advanced civilizations showed off their skills and knowledge, each eager to prove their superiority. But today, something felt different. Word of Mira's spider presentation had spread rapidly. The holo-networks inside the Academy were abuzz with clips of her lecture, many paired with snarky commentary and mocking emojis from the alien students. The Trask warriors, known for their brash confidence and booming voices, were at the forefront of the ridicule. Only Earth could think a spider deserves attention. Krexar, the largest and loudest of the Trask, declared to a group of his peers, his metallic exoskeleton gleaming under the Academy's lights. What's next? Showing them how to tie their shoes. Krexar's voice carried through the communal lounge, making heads turn. His words weren't just meant to be heard. They were designed to provoke. Several other students joined in, crafting jokes and memes about the tiny spider's supposed uselessness. Despite the teasing, Mira noticed something else beneath the surface. a curious mix of skepticism and genuine intrigue. Some students whispered in small groups, eyes still fixed on the hologram recordings. They debated quietly, could such a fragile creature really be important on the cosmic scale? Determined to understand, Mira took a detour to the Academy's expansive biolab, a place where species from countless worlds were studied in intricate detail. There, she examined the latest data on Earth's spiders and their unique adaptations. She knew that beneath the mockery lay an opportunity, a chance to change minds, not through force, but through clever demonstration. Later that evening, as she returned to her quarters, a message pinged on her communicator. It was from Professor Valen, the respected Academy elder who had attended her presentation. Mira. The message read, "Your spider lecture stirred more than laughter. Many students doubt, but some are curious. I suggest you prepare for a more interactive session. The Academy thrives on challenges. Be ready to show them the spider's potential, without conflict, through intellect and creativity." Mira smiled. This was exactly the chance she had hoped for. If she could craft a demonstration that revealed the spider's true strengths, its intelligence, its adaptability, its elegance, she might finally earn the respect of her peers. That night, she stayed up late, sketching ideas and reviewing Earth's natural strategies for survival. The spider, so small and overlooked, had survived millions of years by turning perceived weakness into advantage. Silk strong enough to catch prey and build shelters, venom precise enough to immobilize, not to kill, but to preserve balance. The next day, a new challenge was quietly issued throughout the Academy, a test of cleverness and strategy. Inspired by Mira's spider, the alien students were intrigued, if still skeptical. Mira knew the real test was about to begin, not of strength, but of understanding. The announcement spread quickly through the Galactic Apex Academy, a special challenge inspired by Earth's tiny spider. But this was no ordinary contest. The Academy's director had decreed it would be a test of creativity, strategy, and subtlety, qualities often overshadowed by raw power in the interstellar student body. The challenge was simple, yet intriguing. Teams were to devise non-violent solutions to complex problems within the Academy's puzzle dome, a state-of-the-art environment filled with puzzles, security systems, and obstacles designed to test intellect over muscle. The prize was respect, and perhaps more importantly, a chance for Earth's species to prove its worth. Mira, calm and focused, signed up immediately. She knew her spider's qualities. Its silk, patience, and adaptability were the perfect inspiration. But the real test would be convincing the others that strength could be measured in quiet persistence, not brute force. The day of the challenge arrived. The puzzle dome gleamed under the lights, its walls shifting and glowing with mysterious patterns. Teams from across the galaxy prepared their tools, high-tech gadgets, energy shields, and holographic decoders. The Trask warriors, led by Krexar, looked confident, flexing and exchanging boasts about how quickly they would bulldoze through the course. Mira stood apart with a simple toolkit and a small container housing her spider. She explained to the judges and audience, "We won't be breaking through walls or blasting locks. We'll solve the challenge by understanding it, much like how the spider studies its environment before acting." The first puzzle was a maze locked by pressure plates and laser grids, designed to detect any direct force. Heavy steps or blasts triggered alarms and locked the exit permanently. Most teams tried rushing or disabling the lasers with brute gadgets, only to trigger traps and start over. Mira crouched by the dome's entrance, gently releasing her spider onto the floor. The tiny creature moved carefully, sensing vibrations and weaving fine silk threads along the maze's edges. As it progressed, it triggered subtle pressure plates in the right sequence, quietly unlocking sections of the maze. The audience grew silent, watching the delicate dance of spider and human intuition. Mira observed the patterns, marking safe paths and predicting the maze's logic. When it was her turn to move through the maze, she replicated the spider's careful approach, stepping lightly where the threads showed safe passage. Meanwhile, other teams struggled, frustrated by alarms and locked gates. Krexer's group resorted to brute force tactics, smashing sections only to find themselves trapped deeper in the maze's design. Hours passed. Slowly, one by one, teams either gave up or found themselves stuck. Mira, following the spider's trail, navigated the maze efficiently, solving puzzles through patience and precision rather than power. As she emerged from the final chamber, the crowd erupted in surprised applause. Krexer's group still wrestled with a locked gate, glaring at Mira's calm victory. The Academy's elder professor stepped forward, his luminous skin shimmering with approval. This demonstration teaches us that might alone is not the path to success. Sometimes intelligence, patience, and understanding the smallest details lead to victory. Mira nodded, knowing the real lesson was only beginning to settle in the minds of her alien peers. After the Puzzle Dome challenge, whispers and discussions spread throughout the Academy like wildfire. Mira's success had shaken the usual expectations of power and dominance. Now, the students, some still skeptical, others genuinely intrigued, were eager to understand how Earth's tiny spider had inspired such a clever solution. In the days that followed, Mira was invited to lead a workshop in the Academy's biolab, a place where the most fascinating life forms of the galaxy were studied and revered. The lab was a vast chamber filled with glowing tanks, data streams, and intricate instruments, where scientists and students alike explored the secrets of biology. Mira set up her station, carefully placing the small spider within a transparent habitat designed to mimic Earth's environment. The spider moved with deliberate grace, spinning threads that glistened like fine silver filaments under the lab's soft lights. She began by explaining the remarkable properties of spider silk. "This isn't ordinary silk," she told the crowd. "It's one of the strongest materials known to us on Earth, lightweight yet tougher than steel in tensile strength. It can stretch without breaking and is biodegradable, making it an incredible natural resource." The audience listened closely, some taking notes, others projecting holograms of their own species' materials for comparison. Mira continued, "The spider uses this silk not just for webs, but for safety lines, shelters, and even communication. It's a tool for survival, crafted with precision and purpose." A curious Syntherian student raised a tentacle. "Can such material be adapted for use in technology?" Mira smiled. "That's exactly the kind of thinking we want to inspire. Earth scientists are already exploring how to replicate and modify spider silk for everything from medical sutures to flexible electronics." Next, Mira demonstrated how the spider's movement and behavior were a masterclass in efficiency. The spider's legs moved in a pattern that minimized energy use. Its hunting methods relied on patience and timing rather than brute force. She proposed an interactive exercise. Students were challenged to create web-inspired solutions to a series of everyday problems within the Academy. From setting up secure communication links to constructing lightweight but strong shelters in simulated environments. Teams got to work, brainstorming and experimenting with materials and designs influenced by the spider's silk and behavior. Some used energy filaments that mimicked silk's flexibility. Others designed nets that could catch and hold objects without damaging them. Mira wandered among the groups, offering insights and encouragement. "Look closely at nature," she said softly. "The smallest creatures have evolved some of the smartest designs. We just have to pay attention." By the end of the day, the workshop had sparked fresh ideas and respect for Earth's humble spider. The Trask warriors, known for their strength, found themselves fascinated by the delicate intricacies of the spider's web and the applications it inspired. Krexar, who had once mocked the creature, approached Mira with a tentative nod. "Your spider's silk. It has potential beyond what I imagined." Mira nodded in return, a quiet victory settling in her chest. This was no longer just about proving Earth's worth. It was about opening minds to new possibilities and showing that sometimes the answers to big challenges could be found in the smallest details. The day of the next phase of the Academy's challenge arrived, and the atmosphere buzzed with anticipation. The puzzle dome, an enormous, shimmering structure of translucent panels and shifting walls, stood at the heart of the campus, ready to test every team's creativity and problem-solving skills. Unlike the earlier maze, this challenge focused on collaboration and innovation. Participants had to navigate a complex environment filled with puzzles that required patience, observation, and adaptability rather than brute force or technology. Mira entered the dome alongside her small companion, the black widow spider safely nestled in a specialized container. Around her, teams prepared elaborate gadgets and discussed strategies with excited intensity. The Trask warriors, led by Krexar, flexed and boasted, confident that their sheer power and advanced gear would give them the edge. The challenge began with a series of gates and locks, activated by intricate sensor arrays. Heavy footsteps or loud noises triggered security protocols that sealed passages or set off warning lights. The only way forward was to interact thoughtfully with the environment, decipher clues, and manipulate objects with finesse. Mira crouched low, observing the surroundings. She gently released her spider onto a smooth panel near the entrance. The tiny creature immediately began to explore, its legs carefully tracing the surface as it searched for subtle vibrations and openings invisible to the human eye. Using a set of fine tools, Mira followed, mimicking the spider's path and marking points where the creature's delicate silk threads could be applied to bridge gaps or connect pressure-sensitive pads. The audience watched as the spider spun ultra-thin strands that shimmered faintly under the dome's lights. These threads, though nearly invisible, served as guides and triggers for the locks, activating mechanisms silently and precisely. Elsewhere, Krexar's team attempted to force their way through, smashing panels and trying to jam sensors. But their aggressive tactics only caused setbacks, forcing them to backtrack and rethink. As the dome's puzzles grew more complex, Mira and her spider worked in harmony. The spider's natural abilities inspired clever solutions, weaving threads to transmit signals, setting delicate traps to catch falling objects, and using the silk's strength to support fragile bridges. Gradually, the maze began to unravel. Silent clicks signaled gates unlocking. Hidden passages revealed themselves. The spider's path became a map of success, and Mira's careful guidance ensured each step was deliberate and efficient. At one point, a tricky puzzle involved redirecting beams of light through crystal prisms. Instead of brute forcing or guessing, Mira used spider silk threads to suspend tiny reflective surfaces, creating a delicate web of reflections that solved the puzzle perfectly. As Mira and her spider emerged from the dome's final chamber, the crowd erupted in quiet applause, awed not by force, but by ingenuity and harmony with nature. Krexar, still inside the maze, looked on with grudging respect. The lesson was clear. Strength alone was not enough. Sometimes the smallest thread, carefully placed and patiently woven, could hold an entire challenge together. Outside, Mira smiled, knowing this was the moment when Earth's humble spider had truly earned its place among the stars, not through violence or dominance, but through brilliance and quiet strength. The puzzle dome had revealed much more than just the students' problem-solving skills. It had showcased the power of patience and precision. Yet the Academy's leadership wasn't done testing these qualities. The final challenge was more complex, a labyrinthine maze with shifting walls, hidden traps, and puzzles that demanded careful observation and thoughtful action. Mira and her spider were ready. As the maze doors slid open, cool air brushed past them, carrying a faint scent of alien flora. The walls, crafted from a translucent material that shimmered like liquid crystal, shifted slightly with every step. The maze was alive, changing its patterns and challenging those who dared to navigate it. Mira released the spider once more. It moved quietly along the smooth floor, sensing subtle vibrations and weaving silk threads as it went. Each thread was a delicate marker, mapping safe paths and triggering hidden switches with the gentlest touch. Meanwhile, Other students advanced aggressively, relying on high-tech scanners and forceful tools to blast through barriers. Yet each attempt triggered alarms or locked new sections, increasing frustration. The spider's method was different. Instead of rushing forward, it paused, exploring every crevice and testing every surface. Its silk acted not only as a physical bridge, but as a communication network, sending minute signals that Mira could interpret. She traced the threads with her fingers, following the silent messages encoded within the web. A complex puzzle awaited them, a series of pressure plates that needed to be activated in a precise sequence to unlock the next passage. Human strength or tech could never guess the right order. It required intuition and delicate touch. Mira observed the spider's behavior, noting which plates it stepped on, and the order in which silk threads connected them. The spider's natural hunting instincts had already solved the riddle. Carefully, Mira retraced the spider's path, stepping lightly and pressing the plates in sequence. The maze responded with soft clicks and shifting walls, welcoming her forward. As they progressed deeper, the maze introduced a challenge of balance. A narrow ledge spanned a deep chasm, too thin for bulky armor or heavy equipment. Here, the spider's silk was indispensable. Mira used strands spun earlier to create a supportive web, a lifeline that allowed her to cross safely. Other students struggled to cross with their cumbersome gear, some retreating in frustration. The lesson was clear. Adaptability and finesse could overcome obstacles that brute force could not. Finally, Mira and her spider reached the maze's center, a calm chamber bathed in soft blue light. Here, the Academy's elder awaited, his eyes reflecting ancient wisdom. "You have shown us something invaluable," he said, voice resonating through the chamber. "That power comes in many forms, sometimes in strength, sometimes in subtlety. The web you have woven is not just silk. It is a symbol of intelligence, patience, and respect for life's complexity." Mira felt a deep sense of fulfillment. The tiny spider, once mocked and dismissed, had guided her through the maze not by fighting, but by understanding. As they exited the dome, the murmurs among the students had changed. Mockery gave way to admiration, and questions turned into eager curiosity. The spider's story was far from over. It was only beginning to teach the galaxy that sometimes the smallest creatures hold the greatest wisdom. Word of Mira's triumph in the Puzzle Dome spread swiftly through the Galactic Apex Academy and beyond. The story of Earth's tiny spider, once the subject of laughter, had transformed into a symbol of ingenuity, adaptability, and quiet strength. The Academy's diverse students began to see the creature not as insignificant, but as a master of survival and creativity. Mira found herself invited to speak at conferences and scientific forums within the Academy, her presentations blending biology, strategy, and philosophy. She emphasized that Earth's success was not built on dominance alone, but on cooperation with nature's designs. One afternoon, as Mira prepared for a lecture on biomimicry, the practice of drawing inspiration from nature's solutions, she was approached by a delegation from the planet Vexar, known for its advanced technology and environmental stewardship. "We have observed your work with great interest," said Lyra, the Vexarian spokesperson, her many eyes gleaming with respect. "Your spider's silk and strategy offer promising avenues for our efforts to restore our planet's delicate ecosystems." Together, they began collaborating on projects that combined Earth's biological insights with Vexar's cutting-edge technology. Experiments ranged from creating sustainable building materials inspired by spider silk to developing autonomous drones that mimic the spider's efficient movement patterns. Mira also encouraged cross-species student groups to form, fostering friendships and exchanges of knowledge. These teams worked on challenges like developing non-invasive exploration tools and efficient resource-gathering techniques, all inspired by the spider's principles of subtlety and efficiency. Meanwhile, the Academy's traditionalists, including Krexar and his Trask warriors, gradually softened their stance. Though still proud of their physical prowess, many began to appreciate the power of patience and precision. Krexor approached Mira one evening after a collaborative project meeting. "I underestimated your spider," he admitted with a wry smile. "Its strength isn't in brute force, but in resilience and innovation. There is much we can learn." Mira nodded, appreciating the honesty. Strength takes many forms. Sometimes, it's about knowing when to act and when to observe. As the academic year progressed, the spider became a living symbol at the academy. Its image was etched into the halls as a reminder that even the smallest among us could teach the greatest lessons. Students and faculty alike wore pins shaped like the spider, signifying respect for intellect and subtlety. Beyond the academy, Earth's reputation blossomed. Other planets began seeking human expertise in biological innovation and sustainable solutions, recognizing humanity's unique ability to blend science with nature. Yet, Mira knew this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, full of mysteries and challenges that required more than strength. They demanded understanding, creativity, and respect for the smallest threads that connected all life. As she watched the spider spin its intricate web in her quarters, Mira smiled. The journey of Earth's tiny spider had woven a new future, one where the smallest voice could echo across worlds, inspiring change without a single blow. The Academy's once skeptical halls had transformed. The legacy of the tiny Earth spider had grown into a powerful symbol of hope and innovation, a testament to the idea that even the smallest creatures could influence the grandest stages. Mira stood at the center of a large gathering, the grand hall filled with students and faculty from countless worlds. The occasion was a celebration of the new era of understanding and cooperation sparked by her work and the spider's story. Holograms of spider silk structures and cross-species projects floated above the crowd, a glowing tribute to creativity and perseverance. Today, Mira began, her voice steady and warm. "We celebrate not only the achievements of our academy, but the lessons learned from a creature smaller than many of us could have imagined. The spider taught us that strength isn't always loud or aggressive. It's often found in patience, precision, and harmony with the world around us." Her words resonated deeply. The crowd was a mosaic of beings, from towering crystalline forms to tiny, shimmering sprites, each connected by a shared respect for the spider's quiet power. Outside the hall, the academy grounds had changed as well. Inspired by the spider's web, architects had designed new structures woven with synthetic silk, light, resilient, and sustainable. Gardens thrived with ecosystems modeled on Earth's intricate balance, a living example of cooperation and mutual support. Mira looked to the future with hope. The spider's story had become more than just a lesson in biology. It was a beacon guiding the galaxy toward a new kind of strength, one built on intelligence, creativity, and respect for all life. In the weeks that followed, Earth's scientists and alien collaborators continued to unlock new possibilities. From medical applications of spider silk to advanced communication networks inspired by the spider's web, the small creature's influence grew steadily. Mira often found herself reflecting on the journey. What began as a simple lecture about a tiny spider had blossomed into a movement. The laughter and mockery of the past had transformed into curiosity and admiration, opening doors no one expected. One quiet evening, Mira watched the spider weave its web under the soft light of her quarters. Each thread was a promise, a delicate yet unbreakable connection linking past and future, species and worlds. She whispered softly, "Thank you, little one. You've shown us all how the smallest things can change everything." And in that moment, the galaxy seemed just a little smaller, a little closer, woven together by invisible threads of understanding and hope. The tiny spider, once mocked and overlooked, had become a universal teacher. Its story would be told for generations, reminding all beings that greatness often begins in the most unexpected places.